The number one question that I get asked when people call me about moving to Kansas City is, what's the weather like in Kansas City?
Auntie, I'm a twister.
Now, in this video, I'm going to tell you about all 4 seasons, but one of the things that you should know before you move here to Kansas City is that the weather is completely unpredictable.
Wait, master, it might be dangerous.
You will not know what tomorrow is going to bring because a lot of the meteorologists and the people who make their living talking about weather here in Kansas City are consistently wrong.
You had one job!
Because they just can't predict exactly what tomorrow's weather is going to be like. And you know what? After living here for 4 years, I don't blame them. You can have days that have huge fluctuations from one day to the next. You can have a 30-degree day followed by a 70-degree day. And that's not uncommon here in the Midwest. But it is October right now, and it is the fall. So we're going to go all the way through the year from fall, winter, spring, and summer so that you can decide whether or not living in Kansas City is going to be right for you. So with it being October right now, it is fall, it is mild, the leaves are changing, and it is a beautiful time here in Kansas City. But like I said, it's unpredictable. Last week, it was actually getting pretty cold. It didn't break 60 degrees last week, but this week, today, was 80 degrees and really sunny. It was actually kind of hot. We bundled our kids up, and we were headed out. And right when we got into the car, we knew, hey, it's going to be too hot for these jackets that we're going to be wearing, and we're going to wrap the kids in. And so it was an 80-degree day today, but next week it's going to be back down to regular fall weather in the mid to high 50s. So fall can be best described here as kind of transitory, kind of mild. If you live in a place where the leaves don't change, here in Kansas City, in fall, all the leaves change from green to orange to yellow, and it is a beautiful time, especially when the leaves turn and that fall weather starts to bite, and you get your hot cocoa and you sit out on your porch and you just kind of watch the tree, the leaves kind of fall into your yard, knowing that later you're gonna have to bag them up so they don't stay in your yard. Or you could do what I do and bring out your lawnmower one last time and just mulch your leaves and just leave them there to fertilize your yard. That's typically what I do.
Keep it real, homies.
If you're going to live in Kansas City, you're going to have to decide what to do with all of those leaves that were once on the tree that are going to be in your yard. And if you're not used to that, like me, growing up in Southern California, we never had to do that kind of stuff. If you're not used to that, it can be super annoying.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Last year, I decided, hey, it would be a good idea to burn the leaves. This is a PSA.
Okay, we're just about out of time, right? But before we go,
It is not a good idea to burn leaves. They are highly flammable, and I almost caught the whole fire pit on fire, and my neighbor came out and said, what the heck are you doing? But hey, I'm a Californian. I didn't know that. Don't make the same mistake that I did. Another tip that you may not know moving here in the fall, when we get to the summers are very humid, okay? Just save that in the back of your mind. Summers are very humid, but fall, it starts to get really dry. And for me and my son and my family, we get a ton of nosebleeds around this time of year because the air really kind of dries out. And so therefore, if you're prone to nosebleeds, just know I had a ton of nosebleeds growing up. My son, Keller, he's a 4-year-old. He has a ton of nosebleeds, especially in the fall when the weather starts drying up. It is super annoying. We go through a whole roll of toilet paper just trying to stop his nosebleeds. He thinks he's dying. I know he's not dying.
Is this how it starts? Am I dying?
But hey, that's fall in Kansas City. Nosebleeds, beautiful leaves, mild weather, hot cocoa on the porch, a lot of festivals, pumpkin patches, that kind of stuff. It's a fun time here in Kansas City. It's really great.
Winter is coming!
Now, before I tell you my favorite season, if you're looking to relocate here to Kansas City, I'm a local real estate agent and I would love to help you. Give us a call, 816-4MOVE-KC. Call or text us. We will get back to you within the day if we can't pick up the phone. And I also put my email down below so you can email me if that's what you want. We have a whole team of agents waiting here to serve you and to help you move here to Kansas City. We also have agents that speak Spanish, so 816-4MOVE-KC, 816-4MOVE-KC. The winter, I'm going to break into 2 parts, pre-Christmas and post-Christmas. Pre-Christmas is awesome, post-Christmas kind of sucks, I'll be honest with you.
Shoot, what a bummer.
So the temperatures in the winter, they're going to be 50 and below. They can get all the way down. The coldest I've been in Kansas City for was minus 20. There was a cold snap that kind of came through here, and it was like minus 16 to minus 20. And at that point, it feels like walking straight into your refrigerator when you go outside. And you typically don't go outside too much because you don't want to die. You want to preserve yourself. Now, if you're coming from a warm climate, okay, I've got some tips that are going to keep you warm during the cold, long, hard winters. And if you stay until the end, I will reveal to you my favorite season. Okay, so here are my tips to keep yourself warm during the Kansas City winters. Okay, first thing, you need to get one of these things. Okay, this is I don't know what the heck you call this. Okay, I killed a llama with my bare hands to get this. Actually, I didn't. I just went to Costco and they had this. And actually, you know what? A friend of mine gave this to me. I did not kill a llama to get this, but this is warm. This is kind of an outer layer. Okay, another thing that you're going to want to get is this. I went on eBay where I bought a lot of my clothes, and this is Patagonia, in my family known as Patagucci.
I'm glad you like it. It's Gucci.
And I got this for like 54 bucks. Okay, normally this jacket is like going to be $100 plus, but this is for those, you know, negative degree days. I layer, and I put this as my top layer so that I can survive on the outside. Okay, and the last tip that you're only going to hear here is this. Maybe TMI, but this is long underwear. This brand is 32 Heat. Doesn't matter what brand you get, but basically, if you're coming from warm weather, put these on in November. Don't take these off until April, okay?
Man, that's gross.
Over your undies, but underneath your jeans or whatever else you're gonna wear. And then you also got a layer up top too, okay? Like I said, I spend all winter in these. I don't take these off for any reason because I don't want to freeze, you know? Go to Costco, tell them Jalen sent you. They'll look at you like, what the heck you talking about? And then walk over and buy a pair of 32 Heat long underwear. Keep them on for the entirety of the winter. You're gonna be all right, homie. If you're coming here from like Florida, if you're coming here from California, as long as you have those three things, you're gonna make it. Okay, something would be useful is something to cover your head. That's less important than those things though. Okay, I would go out and buy those things immediately. But again, pre-Christmas winter is a fun time. There's a ton of things to do in Kansas City during the winter. But one of the things is throughout the whole winter, it's hard to get around, especially when there's snow on the ground, especially when there's ice on the ground and you're not used to driving around here. Okay, that's going to be something that's going to be pretty tough. Another tough thing about the winters here is that your pipes can freeze. If you're coming here and you're saying, what pipes can freeze? Yeah, pipes can freeze. When it gets super cold, the pipes in your walls can freeze. So you're going to want to take some measures to make sure that they don't freeze. This isn't a video for that, but you can easily look it up. Google, how can I stop my pipes from freezing during the winter? And you have a ton of tips. We didn't know this when we first moved here, and we were just like, what the heck is going on? Why is it that when we turn on water, there's no water coming out? It's because our pipes froze, you dummy. Okay, don't let your pipes freeze. Typically, snow on the ground stays for about, I would say, 7 to 10 days, depending on how many cold days we have in a row. Now, crazy winter story. My parents and Emily's parents came last Christmas and we scheduled a walking tour. I don't know why we did this. We scheduled a walking tour the day after Christmas, December 26th. The days before Christmas, it was like -16, -12, -8, 10 degrees. It was freezing. Guess what? The day after Christmas, December 26th, it was 70 degrees. It was close to 70 degrees. We went on this winter tour, this walking tour, and we were all bundled up, and we had to take layers off because it was so warm. That goes back to the unpredictability of what Kansas City weather can be like. And that can make winters durable for a golfer like me during those warm stretches. You got to get out, you got to swing the sticks, you got to go out there, make sure you get some vitamin D coursing through your blood, because if you stay inside all day, okay, you're not going to survive.
Spring is here.
Okay, so spring. Spring can hit anytime late February all the way to early April. Okay, it just depends on what that year's kind of shaking out to be. Okay, anytime late February all the way through early April, that's when spring can hit. And spring is an awesome time here in Kansas City. All the leaves that are barren, all the trees that are barren, they're starting to come back into bloom. My wife usually germinates these little seedlings during the winter, and in the spring she's planting them. People around the block are planting them. So spring is a time of flowers. Spring is a time of new life, leaves. We love Easter. You know, we go to church and we love Easter. Easter is one of the best times of the year that we love to celebrate. So spring is a fantastic time here in Kansas City. Weather is going to be anywhere from 40 at the lowest, especially overnight. You can still have that lingering winter chill, and it can get all the way up to 80 on some super warm spring days. And so you're gonna see that the grass is becoming greener again. During the winter, the grass becomes really kind of brown and dormant, and during the spring, the grass becomes green again. It starts to grow again. One of the good things about winter is that you don't have to mow your grass. In the spring, you're gonna have to mow your grass. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of yard work. I'm not the super handiest guy in the world, but
Inconceivable!
Unbelievable!
In the winter, you don't really have to do much because everything's frozen. In the spring, you got to start mowing your lawns.
This is the worst!
The thing that spring brings here in Kansas City is baseball. We got the Royals starting up, which is a wonderful thing. I love taking my son to Royals games. He's super into it. I myself am a Dodgers fan. Unfortunately, we just got eliminated from the playoffs, but I think my son's going to grow up a Royals fan, and I'm totally fine with that because he loves going to Royals games. I love taking him to Royals games. I cheer for the Royals if they're not playing the Dodgers because I love Kansas City. So that brings us to the last season.
Summertime.
Stick around if you want to hear my favorite season. The last season is this summer. Summers are hot and humid in Kansas City. They can be anywhere from 70 degrees to 90 degrees plus. We even had a week in this last summer in August. It was miserable. It was over 100 degrees. And over 100 degrees with the humidity that we have in Kansas City, it is like unbearable outside. Sometimes you go outside, you're walking around with the humidity and the heat, and you're like, am I breathing water? Okay, am I a fish? Am I actually a human?
Now that's funny.
And it is not pleasant, y'all. I'm telling you that if you come here if you're deciding to live here, you got to come and visit during the summer because I think it is one of the more unpleasant times. We typically have a week or 2 weeks in the summer where it's going to be over 100 degrees. We have a week or 2 weeks in the winter where it's going to be below zero. Come during those times and just check it out because if you don't know and you don't know that those times exist, they're going to hit you pretty hard, man, and you're not going to be ready for it, okay? Another thing that the summer brings that really, really sucks is the bugs. We love the fireflies, which are great, but the fireflies indicate that it's getting more humid, and more humidity brings the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes bring nothing good to our life except for to bite me all the time because they like my blood.
100 million years ago, there were mosquitoes, just like today.
I have no clue why they like my blood so much. They like the blood of my sons. They like the blood of my family. They sound like this, crazy gang. They're like looking for the blood of my family, right? That's mosquitoes. You're going to get eaten up. You're going to get cicadas. They're super loud. They're super scary. They look like demons, okay? They're scary. One almost came into my house and I was like, you know what? I guess we just have to burn down the house. However, you do get long days that are great for golf. I can tee off at 5 o'clock in the summer and I can still play a round of 18, especially if the course is uncrowded and I'm by myself. I can play 18 holes. You can't do that virtually any other time except for in the summer. So there are some good things about the summer as well. And now that you stuck around until the end, my favorite season is the spring. You would think that it would be the fall, and I do love fall golf. It is wonderful, and I do love the fact that football starts in the fall too. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I just recently went to a Chiefs game. As a Chargers fan, I always go every time the Chargers are in town because I love my Chargers. Not against the Chiefs by any means. Football starts in the fall. That's fun. You got the golf in the summer. That's great. You got Christmas in the winter, but the spring is the time of hopefulness here in Kansas City because you just went through a really long and brutal winter. The leaves are coming back. You're getting ready for a hot and humid summer, and the spring is a transitory season, and I think it's a beautiful time here in Kansas City. So that's my favorite.